Okay. I would like to call this October 4th meeting of the Planning Board to order. We have a quorum with 4 members present, and we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I want to welcome our new secretary, Tammy Quimby. Thank you so much for filling in on short notice. Also want to thank Jill Torr, who was our previous secretary, for all the work that she did. We will miss having her here every month. Any amendments to the agenda? We have Mr. Baldwin here. We'll add you at new business after we talk about the ball fields.
I have one addition that the chairman, Kevin Nato of the comp plan, wanted us to discuss a few things regarding the comp plan. I just want to add that to the end of the agenda.
Okay, we'll do that after new business. Acceptance of minutes for September 6, 2017. I know you guys didn't get a chance to look at them before, but I did pass them out. So I didn't include in the minutes all of the findings and conclusions. I just have that separate document that you all have as well that Ian typed up.
Yep. I do think it's Paul First, not Firth.
Oh, sorry.
Minor. I don't think it's a substantive.
I do know a first.
Like the number first? Like
Yeah.
first.
First place.
That's a cool one.
Yeah.
I'll change that.
John, Brian.
Hmm?
Just for as I'm taking notes.
Oh, John.
John.
Brian.
I was like, I can try to figure it out.
What do you name tags?
Is there a motion to approve? Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is a good set of notes here. I'm not gonna vote.
Yeah. Juliet wasn't here, so.
Oh.
So I'm not gonna vote on it, on the notes,
Okay.
even though they look very good.
Good. All right. Motion to approve the meeting minutes from September 6, 2017 with amendment to Mr. First last name.
Can I
Second.
All those in favor? Okay. Continuing business, conditional use permit application for Durham Youth Baseball. And we had some new information that was sent out.
Slight amount. Not as much as I was hoping to get out, but.
We got some information about the groundwater supply. Yes?
Yes.
And still waiting on some information from the DEP. Is that right? Or from NERPA?
From DEP, and we also need to, we have a meeting set for next week to meet with a guy who's gonna help us with stormwater,
Okay.
go through that. So that, we didn't get any of that taken care of yet, and the landscaping we didn't get a handle on yet.
board members have any other questions?
Just reading, submitted, it all looks expected. I guess my question is, does the applicant have more questions now that he's had more time to decompress after our late meeting? Anything else said?
Not at this time.
Okay.
Yes, there was a lot of information thrown out, and I think most of it made quite a bit of sense, so it's just a matter of working through most of that. I guess I'll ask one question on that. So I know one of the abutters had questioned putting up some gates or something like that, and it's kind of a, unfortunately, and I think hands are tied here too. But the way the ordinance is, his concern was security. Having people parking in the parking lot late at night or whatever. Unfortunately, the ordinances that have restrict the visibility of the parking area kind of go, if it were more of an open parking lot, you wouldn't have those concerns, whereas we have to have all the landscaping buffering for the parking lot now. And, he had mentioned putting up gates, and we haven't talked about it as a board. My personal opinion is I'm actually strongly opposed to putting up gates, just because that gates are also going to cause issues for the abutters. My concerns on that is that if you put up gates, we're limiting access to a town-owned recreation field. The goal is we want people to get there and use it. When they are using it, we don't want them parking on Swamp Road. That there were concerns about speeds, and it's not the widest road. So all that together, the gates don't make sense. I know one abutter had mentioned people getting out on the field with four-wheelers and stuff. And unfortunately, the fields themselves will be fenced off. But I personally don't think it makes sense to limit access to the parking area so that people can't use it when they should. We want to encourage use of it, not discourage use.
Yeah, I think what'll help you is if you can work with your abutters, and if in the end you come in with a landscape plan and a buffering plan that they like, and they maybe won't push as hard on some issues, but I think, really the piece is to try to make it work for the community and your neighbors. So I get it with gates. Gates are a pain.
And we did go out, one of our board members is also a surveyor. He went out and resurveyed the tree line, so hopefully we can get a better sense of the buffering and hopefully move from there.
Yeah, I don't know that there's a specific requirement in our ordinance that says you have to secure it. We have specific requirements around buffering.
Yeah. The unfortunate thing is, if we could leave it open from the roadway, that would help alleviate his concerns of that being a desirable location for undesirable activity late at night.
And you get that, but you do have the one neighbor up over the hill, so if it can
Exactly.
find that balance where he's screened and
Yep.
yeah.
So at this point, are we looking to table this again?
I think it continues.
Do we table through, or I know we made it through like the first, I think it was still the performance section you guys still had to go through as well?
We're-
Right. We usually don't get in that until the application is deemed complete.
Okay.
And at that point, we could do a field walk. We could start processing it. So we usually don't really dive into the rest of the standard until you complete.
Good to know.
And you probably don't need to keep coming once a month until you complete.
Yeah,
Unless you're,
I
just so
mean-
you're
Well,
aware.
the goal is to get this stuff moving.
Right.
I was disappointed that we had actually made a lot of steps prior to the last planning board meeting, and then things just didn't get moving the way they were supposed to. So,
Been there.
So, whenever some of that, whenever all of that comes in, you don't have to come back every month with one new piece. You can kind of wait until you have it all, and then.
Okay.
I don't know what the process is for getting back on the agenda, alerting,
10 days prior to.
submitting the information.
Okay,
Great, thank you.
thank you.
Do you need a motion to table it again, or?
This meeting will be much shorter than last week.
You have the list of items that you need to have, the incomplete items?
Yes.
Yeah, so you'll bring those all back and,
Yeah. And I did get a letter from
or ask for a waiver?
IFW afterwards, but that was after the cutoff for submitting it, so. Yeah, I have the whole action item list of stuff we needed to look at and from there.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right, new business, kind of, not really. Mr. Baldwin.
I received a letter from the performance standards of the findings and conclusions, and I have made the changes requested on the subdivision plan. Some of the items are just conditions that I have to do, but a couple of things were on changes on the plan itself.
So the setback lines within the buffer zone on lot 5, having those removed, I think was one.
Right,
And
they have
then-
been removed,
And then,
and adding 17, I believe, was the second one. I don't think,
and then adding the discontinued county way note on there.
right.
Oh,
I
and
added
then, and then a note about paving.
Yep, that's in there. And I actually added on 17, we added the language that is used in the deeds whenever I have sold or on that property, which conveys the rights of that discontinued.
So you guys want to look at this plan to?
Yeah, if there's one that shows the updates, I'd love to see them.
What's that? If it's-
If there's a plan that shows the revisions that
Yep.
we've asked.
Yep, those are-
Thank you.
Yeah. Yep. Sorry, I just.
So that's this one.
So I know there was a concern, you guys wanted a note that said that this road was a discontinued county road, so. You know which note that was?
Yeah, it's the last one, number 17.
17.
And then 16 is new.
We added 16 too, with conditions of it must be paved in accordance with the ordinances in effect at the time of each additional dwelling.
Those lines here, just the.
You still don't have the stormwater permit?
No,
When do you think you'll have that?
I don't know. You know how the state works. I'm surprised we don't have it, but I called them today.
It's been, what, 2 months?
Yeah, they can be up to 6 months.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Doesn't
I would expect 3 to 4.
It's
Just-
it's approved and they've given him all the stuff on here, but they haven't written the permit. I don't understand how that works, but Anyway.
Is that supposed to be? What's that supposed to be, CEO?
Yep.
What is that?
22.
Submit the gradation to the CEO, it says CEP.
CEP. Did I miss something?
All right. We don't have it.
Did we have one of those?
I don't like this. That's something you guys talked about.
Yeah, number
Because before
22C1.
The setback was with.
Oh, I see.
So
Yeah.
CEP.
He asked me to take it out.
Okay.
No,
He did.
It's a typo.
he-
So it's fine to
Sorry.
me.
We did say that the DEP approval was before start of construction, so let's see
That's in,
take this out from signing it, so.
what's that? No,
Yeah, I was seeing how we wrote the DEP permit, and it says must present it to before construction,
right,
so.
as well as this. This is supposed to be provided to CEO, but it has nothing to do with this change, but I don't know if you wanted to, this is the, asking all the abutters if they want it to be part of a road maintenance agreement on
Yeah.
Granite Hill Farm Road.
Did you ask them? They agree?
I have, no, nobody, it's like
they'd
asking
sign-
somebody to be part of
I
something
didn't
that
think they'd
doesn't
sign right up
exist.
to that.
I got some
But our ordinance says you
emphatic
can,
answers.
our ordinance says you can ask.
Well, I did that, but does that need to be certified, or that's one statement, basically, it's a, what do you
I can't
call it?
I don't remember what it says word for word.
Yeah, I can't remember what the ordinance says either, specifically,
Oh,
but
what the heck's the word now?
notarized. What we said was an
I have to
an
provide this one
affidavit.
statement, an affidavit there,
Yeah,
that I have asked everyone. And I didn't know if
An
that should be
affidavit,
notarized.
affidavit from the applicant.
yeah.
That would be,
Right.
so that would work if you sign it and
What's the
notarized.
legal
So should
definition
it
of
be
an
no-
affidavit? Does it have to be?
Should be notarized, yeah.
Okay.
Are you a notary?
Uh,
You a notary? No.
I can knock that out for you.
Better get that done quick. There's a lot of stuff.
No.
So there was an amendment, 22D, proposed road maintenance agreement must be amended.
Yep.
Do we have that?
You don't have it, but I don't know if I was supposed to get that to you, actually, or if you want to see it, I have it.
At this point, since we've approved an application, I think it just all goes to,
Right, the only thing that you
Yes, sign it.
probably should, or are interested in seeing are the changes on the plan.
yeah.
This can go to you then if you want it.
Thank you.
And all I did was add it right there with the fancy stuff in the lawyer, whereas will maintain fee simple interest and ownership in the road.
So you guys want to see that?
That's the road maintenance agreement that was approved.
And which item was it, your
It's on
updated?
the front page, the last whereas.
Number 5?
Nope.
Oh, whereas,
up top.
okay, fee, yep, I got you.
I just added it in there.
Mm-hmm,
Just recopied that page actually and added it.
yep.
Note 16 on the plan.
Mhm.
Mineral Springs must be paved in accordance with the ordinance in effect at the time that each, so, I just want to be clear on this. Each additional lot, I guess, where's our starting point?
Well, whatever the ordinance states at that time, in other words, right now, it's the
Three?
fourth, 3 don't have to be paved,
Okay.
4th house has to be paved.
Okay,
If
so
the
that
ordinances
changes.
are changed at the time of the 4th house, then I won't have to pave. If they aren't, I will.
That's kind of a confusing note moving forward, somebody might.
Well,
read that
it's
one.
only in there, it's only in there because there is hope or rumor or
Right.
whatever that
Right, that it might change.
comprehensive plan may work on some of this, make some changes and do away with the paving on some,
Okay. It should have said, instead of each, it should have said that, instead of additional, it should have just said each dwelling unit.
at the time of each dwelling unit is permitted.
Right, then it would
The
make.
same thing,
Yeah,
it
well,
says the same thing.
The additional makes me wonder where we're starting and stopping from, but if we know if we know right now it's 4, then.
Right. Whatever it is at the time of each additional, so if I get 3 permits, it doesn't have to be paved. If it's required at the 4th, then it will have to be if it hasn't changed at that point.
Yeah, that was the wording that we hammered out the last meeting. Okay.
So we don't have the 4th person that was here, so basically, I'd like, if I could get that, all you have to do is sign the Mylar, I just did one in Pownell. And my surveyor records it and gets copies for everybody and a PDF for your files. That's the way he likes to do it. I've seen it done here before where, they sign 2 or 3 copies. Technically, you gotta make sure everyone signs in the same order. So his idea is if you make copies of the original.
Yep.
So I would,
Typically, the way I've seen it done is you sign a paper copy for us to keep, and then we sign a Mylar.
yep,
And then when the Mylar gets recorded, you give us back the recorded version, and we just discard the old paper, just so we know.
I have 2 there for you.
So-
You're the same
Just
changes.
so we have something here that we,
Yeah, they've done 2 or 3 and the Mylar. I've seen it different ways.
No, it's not a bad idea to have a
Yep, those 2 copies are there for you.
So we need to sign that? What do we have? Can we use a pen?
and then they'll fill out,
Good.
they'll fill out that recording information later.
Oh, is there a special pen for that Mylar? There is, isn't it?
Usually you want a good felt tip.
So,
I just thought of that. I think there is a
Got a
special.
regular pen.
Try it.
This one might work.
This gel will write on anything, but it's probably gonna get smudged in the next
This one
person
might
signs
work.
it.
It's thin, but it might, you can just try. if you
try it
want.
on a corner, try it on a corner somewhere.
If not, maybe we can get one from Kevin.
If not, I'll go tear the office, I got a supply room in there.
Smudged.
I don't know.
Do we want to leave?
Work.
Do,
This one might
how
work.
do we want to get Ann to sign it?
Well, I'll leave it here.
She doesn't
and-
sign, she doesn't have to sign it, it just.
Yes, she does.
Majority.
Yeah, she was part of the 4 people that approved.
Oh,
I
okay.
think it has to be signed by everyone who approved it. I'm not sure.
Not usually, as long as you have a quorum that signs it.
So I won't sign it then, because I wasn't here.
Right.
And were you not here? No, you were here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep.
Mindy's gonna sign first, that way we don't, she doesn't smudge the others. She's on top.
So if you're gonna disregard that copy when
I'm
you
just
get the
signing after the,
recordings,
where it says.
then it won't matter in what order you sign it in.
Yeah,
The recorded ones.
we'll just hang on to it until you bring back the recorded version. When do you think you'll have it in there? When do you think?
This
you'll
week.
take it?
It
What's
goes
that
right
now?
in. I get it back to the surveyor.
Okay,
What am I supposed to write on the other line?
I think so, I don't know, I think a print a name next to
Oh,
it.
okay.
worst case scenario, they'll send you back for another one.
It's okay.
Do we date this?
coffee has any caffeine in it.
So you don't think Ann has to sign it then, or we're not?
No, I think she probably
Yeah, I think she should.
Because I can leave it
Yeah.
here, and hopefully we could ask
She
her
can
to
come in.
I'll ask her.
sign it.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
yeah, I can do that.
I think it'd be better if everybody who
Thanks.
was at the meeting signed it.
Because it looks a little suspect with only 3 signatures on it. It looks, it's only got 3 signatures, which isn't a quorum here, so. So, yeah, I think you should.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll send
Did we
her.
want to do one?
Do you want to sign
You
the?
gotta sign one of those,
the other
right?
Can use normal pen for that?
So we will put that back in the box where it's safe then? Calvin?
Yep.
And when she gets,
Just want to make a motion that his conditions are met and plan is approved.
I don't think we need to.
They weren't
It's
all,
already-
Right,
not
it's
all of
already
them were approved, or met yet, because some of them are prior to construction, right?
the conditions are not all met yet, but the plan, changes on the plan are made.
When we've signed the others, we've just gone through the review and sign. We haven't really opened up any.
Right.
I guess if you sign it, Bill, assume it must have been complete.
You have that back, the,
I sent it.
Yeah, you might, Brian might have it.
okay, I'm gonna keep that until I get the other stuff, that affidavit,
Okay.
and give it to you all at once, or do you want
Yeah.
this? So that'll be,
Cal,
both of those
Calvin
copies?
has.
Yep. Left for her to sign, and yes, if somebody called me when it's done, so I can get it before.
okay.
Alvin's hands.
Right back in the other room.
A few more days.
I don't know if it's real assuring, but. All right, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, comprehensive plan discussion. Were you here for that, Kevin? Or are you just
Yes.
observing?
No,
Lurking.
Come on.
You get to sit in the hot seat. Usually on this side of things.
I started on this side before I was on that side.
Oh, yeah.
Is this gentleman considered public?
Yes.
Something like that.
I'm here in a.
In this venue, yes.
Actually in an official capacity, but, so I'm here actually wearing, both my selectman and comp committee, member hat, for a couple reasons. One, last spring when the board first came together, four of the 5 members are new this spring, we kind of divvied up, if you will, departments and functions of the town, and wanted selectmen to be like liaisons, or pay a little bit more attention to a certain functional area. So somebody's assigned to the fire department, and it was a natural fit for me to have the planning board, given some of the other roles that I'm playing right now. So that's one of the reasons I'm here, is to reach out and establish kind of a stronger link between the planning board and the board of selectmen, really in a support role, because you are an independent board, and obviously wouldn't even presume, in fact, we like it when we can say that's the planning board's problem. That's not our problem. But we're here to provide whatever support that you need. And one of the things I know you need is a new code enforcement officer. And I can tell you that as I was sitting there, the person that we made an offer to accepted the offer. So we should have, it's going to be a couple of weeks before the person starts. But we expect to onboard him sometime later this month. So he has pretty good inspection experience. He's currently a state certified third-party inspector for plumbing and building codes. The piece he doesn't have is there's a it's like a legal there's a
Land use.
code legal course that he'll need to take within a year. He doesn't have a lot of code specific, ordinance specific experience. I mean, but his previous employment, he dealt a lot with like federal regulations and evaluating properties to see if they met standards of federal programs and things like that. So he's very comfortable, like kind of reading documents like that and pulling out what the requirements are. And so I think it'll be a pretty good transition for him. Speaking of transition, I think this time around with the code officer, we've already spoken with Calvin and he's agreed that we're going to have a bit of a smoother or more gradual. Thank you. That's the gradual transition, so anything like, for instance, Mr. Baldwin's case, that Calvin will stay working on that and kind of see that through to the end, rather than try to bring a new code enforcement officer in and try to pick it up in the middle. And if there are any other similar projects like that, because Calvin we appointed him as assistant code enforcement officer, so he can continue to act in that official capacity even after we have a code enforcement officer on board. The other piece of that I would envision is maybe some sort of, and it's really up to you, some sort of a workshop or something with the new code enforcement officer once he has his feet wet, so that we can establish like really clear expectations between those roles and what the code enforcement officer's role is before somebody even comes to the planning board with a project, and just so you guys can all have a mutual understanding of what the roles expect from each other, and help things like move along smoothly. So. Is
it a 40-hour week role for this person?
It is. No, it's a 32. It's a 32-hour full time. But it's the way we approach that is it's not a hard 32 in any one week. Certain times of the year, it's really, as long as it averages 32 over the course of a year, that's fine with us. And so that and he's fine with that too.
So no problem attending meetings, the evening meetings.
No, that's one of the things we definitely talk about with candidates, is that's planning board's a definite, and then other meetings kind of as required. So once we get him on board, and when it works for you, if you want to set up some sort of a workshop with him, that would be great. The kind of switching hats over to the comp plan side, we've been contracting and working with GPCOG, Greater Portland Council of Governments, to provide guidance and help in drafting portions of the plan. And John raised a question in one of the meetings about the possibility of having GPCOG come and maybe do a joint presentation to this committee and the Comprehensive Planning Committee on really whatever you wanted with regard to maybe a little bit of guidance on ordinances and things of that sort. Fairly high level at first. We may eventually, as a town or as a planning board, contract with them to actually do some more formal ordinance work for us, but I think they could help guide the upfront piece of a comprehensive plan on giving us at least a flavor of, if we wanted to accomplish X, what types of ordinances or land use policies should we be considering to do that? So they're very open to that, and so maybe be thinking about that, and some specifics about what you'd like to hear more about, or topics that we can cover. And so that in that conversation with our GPCOG representative, I know we hear all the time, been hearing for years about all these issues with the ordinances and where there's contradictions and things of that sort. And it popped the question in my head, like, do we have a list of those? Like, are we keeping some sort of a running, like, ordinance to-do list? Like, like this one, cause I think that would be very helpful both for the comp plan and for yourselves when we get ready to actually rewrite ordinances. Because the more visibility and awareness we have of what those specific issues are, the better job we can do on the comp plan of kind of setting out pretty clear direction on how to resolve some of those things. So.
I mean, so I think we did, yeah, at one point in time, there was, I mean, actually it was on the whiteboard here for, for a long time. We had a whole list of things, and I think the last revision we started doing just kind of really lost steam when Paul leaving, and he often was kind of the keeper of some of the list stuff with us.
Yeah, I
and,
don't- I'm
we
not
just
sure
really
what
kind of like lost steam,
Okay.
steam with it. But I think a lot of the issues aren't necessarily, most of it's just efficiency. So like if you look through our various requirements and conditions and performance standards, they don't align. They don't, so item number 8 in this standard is 13 in this standard and has different language. So if you're talking about, any of the development requirements, and they just don't align. So it's like we talk about water use in like 4 different places in the ordinance.
Yeah.
And in theory, the applicant's responding to like 3 different places in the ordinance, depending on his conditional use. It's more that efficiency of process that I think is our biggest.
Yeah, I mean, going through multiple lists of doesn't meet this requirement, doesn't meet that requirement, and they're somewhat repetitive, but not quite close enough. So it's like we
Right.
still have to talk about this list and then this list, and they don't quite match up. And it's like, could we just make all of that one?
Right. And,
So-
maybe at this point, it's certainly not asking you to, make all the corrections at this point, but it might be helpful to actually have a list of something. Yeah, this, section 8 of this one and section 5 of this one are essentially the same. We should reconcile that. And then that's good. It just kind of gives you a place to go back to,
Right.
and would help the comp plan committee when we start laying out goals and strategies to give us some targets to shoot at, basically with what we would do with that.
I wonder, so GP-COG is working with a comp plan on the comp plan.
Mm-hmm.
So would the GP-COG working with us, the planning board, on the ordinances be something that they have experience doing?
It absolutely is, and it's something I raised that with when I met with them last week. The response I got was that they don't think they have the capacity to take on a full-blown ordinance thing right now. But they think that by the time we got a little bit further along in the comprehensive plan, they probably would. Although Jessa Berna, our representative from GP-COG, she was going to go back to her director and just kind of see what kind of capacity they might have for doing some of that.
They have
sort
that
of work.
experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big part of
theirs.
a big part of the planning and what they do. So that would
They're,
be.
they're definitely helping the comp plan be efficient in that task. So I can see them helping us be a lot more
Yeah.
efficient in
And so we
in the
talked.
ordinance. But as far as like the comp plan, it's kind of a good segue to discuss this whole thing about rewriting the ordinances based on the comp plan. So, or not, based on potential recommendations from the comp plan. So the comp plan committee is writing the comp plan with some recommendations, pretty much.
Not specific ordinance recommendations.
Right,
It will
general
be-
recommendations for the town.
Right.
And then the planning board, somehow there's like a pass-off where
Right.
the comp plan gives those recommendations to the planning board and then say, okay, now we need ordinances,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Yeah.
So that's gonna be an interesting,
So we talked about the timing of that,
sorry,
and
hold on a second. We had a question,
oh,
but I think we have to wait.
No, I mean,
We open? Okay.
it's just
I
general
was
discussion.
wondering if the comprehensive plan has to be approved and voted in before anybody considers any different changes
Yes.
to ordinances to fit it.
no, it doesn't,
Oh.
actually,
It doesn't.
no. What you might be thinking of, Juliet, is you can't have certain types of ordinances without an approved comp plan, like a growth ordinance would be one, any ordinance with an impact fee would be another one, but other types of ordinances, you could propose to be changed at any time. Now, I guess there's always the risk that something you do might ultimately go against or be not in complete alignment with the comprehensive plan. But so there'd be that risk, but I think,
I wonder if there'd be a
given
little bit of political
given the
risk, too.
overlap of the committees, I think that's probably unlikely.
I guess I would
But
wonder if there's
ordinance-
a political risk, like, you know, Mr. Baldwin's perception, oh, you probably don't want to be messing with this until you have an approved comp plan, and
Ideally, that would be the case, but if there were, but the comp plan is probably not gonna be done for, we're
So-
talking spring 2019, so if there was a pressing need to do something, then,
But
So we
ordinance
don't need
changes do go to a
Yeah,
town
that's what I
vote.
thought.
I'm sorry?
Ordinance changes do go to a town vote.
oh, yeah.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
the comprehensive plan itself does not have any kind of vote.
Oh, yes, it does.
Oh, it does,
Yeah.
okay.
It has to be approved, it has to be, first it has to be approved by the town, and our goal there is the town meeting in 2019, spring of 2019.
Okay.
Then, after that, it has to be found in compliance with the
State.
state. And actually, that's what happened last time was in 2002, the town approved the plan, but the state found it non-compliant, and then there was never any follow-up to bring it into compliance.
So I guess your question was, can we write ordinances without the comp plan being approved? Was that what you were getting at?
Yeah.
Okay,
But I mean,
okay.
just- I know it has to be approved by the voters. and
Yeah,
If we make changes that don't follow the plan.
right. Yes.
So most of the changes, I mean, because we actually had it drafted up, and we were probably a couple weeks away from being able to submit it through into the town for the
Oh, our
last
ordinance changes, you
warrant
mean, yeah.
changes last time, and it just kind of crashed. But almost all of those were these organizational cleanups we were trying to get completed.
Yeah, it wasn't, it was more efficiency. It wasn't necessarily changes to,
I don't
Have
think you
land use
necessarily
or-
need to wait to do that, because even, let's say you did that and you brought it to the town and to vote on it at the 2018 meeting, and then by the time we get around to 2019, if there was a piece of it that was, you know, that we wanted to adjust again, there's nothing to say that you couldn't do that. I also think for certain topics, we might be far enough along and at least have drafts of goals and strategies that would be a pretty good indicator of where the plan was going to go. And, you know, I wondered if, given that, if it might make sense to, in certain cases, have some ordinances also ready to go to vote on at the spring 2019 meeting, kind of working under the assumption that the plan would be approved rather than wait a whole nother year or have to call a special town meeting 6
Right.
months later or something like that. So I think there's a lot of options there. I'm not here asking for any specific course of action, but there are options. You don't have to wait until the comp plan is done before you do anything with the ordinances.
Right.
So.
Can I ask how your draft process went?
Well,
So at one point in time, we actually had a consultant working with us for, I don't know, maybe a 4-month period
yeah.
or so.
Okay, that's really where I was going.
Yeah.
So, do we have any
We got those
funds
approved,
left
though.
over for a consultant? Because that's really what's needed. I think, you know, you mentioned at the comp plan meeting about third party, maybe a third party inspector, but it sounds like it's flipping. And if we had, somebody that could help with the planning part of things, you know, Paul seemed to have his head wrapped around the planning part of it a little bit, but now it sounds like there's nobody with planning experience. And to throw out some criticism, what I've seen the past few months has been painful. It really has
For a lot of us.
And so I'm glad to hear that there's a draft out there to make it a little more efficient, but I'm hoping that there's somebody that can help guide us along that process. And if we can wrap something in by 2019 at the same
I think,
time.
I think
great.
what we found was that us having workshops and just kind of plugging away at it was the least efficient way to try and get change happening with the ordinances, so.
I think it's much like, it's almost like working with an architect, right? You're gonna tell the architect that, I want a mudroom, I want laundry off the kitchen, I want this, that, the other thing, and then they come, you give them the requirements, they come back to you with like options or plans, so, I think that's an approach that, could work well with ordinances. And I would encourage you, because in the 2017 budget, most of the money that historically has been in planning board budget for like legal and professional was kind of shifted to the comp plan to pay for that. The thinking being that, well, we have to invest in the comp plan and then we'll invest in the ordinances. And I think that's still largely true, but I think when we do the 2018 budget, there should be some legal professional funds in the planning board budget on top of the comp plan budget, so that if you need some of those consulting resources for ordinances while we're working a little bit concurrently, that those funds would be there.
So, and a couple times I've heard, actually Joe mentioned it before we actually went into session tonight, that there's, from an engineer's perspective, there's some standards that are referenced in our ordinance as far as the height, traffic, and things like that aren't the current.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
Reference in our ordinances that aren't current?
Right.
Yeah.
And
surprising.
actually, the engineer that worked on Barry's application as well said, you know, there's some things in here from an engineering perspective that could be better, you know. And
Yeah.
he actually kind of said, you know, if you guys ever get into a rewrite, I would sit down and give you some ideas of things that,
Right.
from an engineer's perspective, could use some.
Yeah,
Some
and I think any
work.
resources like that we can tap would be
So
great.
I guess this was approved at 2016 town meeting, this.
There were some minor changes.
Minor.
That was mostly
okay. So
that was mostly because we had like all these shattered ordinances, and it pulled into one land use. There was a separate backlot ordinance, there was a separate subdivision, and there was a land use and conditional use.
Yeah, we pulled
And it
them
really
all
kind of
together.
pulled into one
One land.
That was it.
comprehensive land use policy,
But growth stayed separate.
but growth stayed separate.
So then when I started looking at them, they were actually ended up being 4 different versions. We found out in one meeting, we were like, well, you have one, and we had to figure out what happened there. So I was,
That was the work we did, the consultant, and that was kind of our first step. And then,
Yeah,
us as a board, along with Paul, were having workshops and just kind of going through it ourselves and saying, okay, let's look at, you know, accessory apartments, let's look at campgrounds, let's look at all of this stuff and just see, you know, are we comfortable with what it says in here in terms of what's required, or are we not? And so, but that was a long process, and we didn't necessarily get kind of as far as we wanted to go. And then I think we had bigger conversations about, okay, how do we want to address growth and housing? And do we want a growth district? Do we, you know, that we're really tailoring the ordinance to, because our, you know, our density is like the same for every.
Has anybody, right, exactly, well, that was
So
one of
that's
the.
not a growth district, but
Right.
it's the same housing density.
Has this committee ever seen the letter that we got from the state that basically described what was wrong with our 2002
haven't
comp
seen
plan? I'm gonna make sure you get a copy of that, because it talks about that point you just made exactly,
Right.
is that like, yeah, there's really
You're
no
not doing
difference
anything.
here.
Right.
And then the lack of any specific, another thing they mentioned, and there were a few others, but a lack of any, we weren't overt enough about any plan for affordable housing, and how we were gonna deal with that in the town. So you know, you can get your wheels spinning on those, because we know we have to deal with those.
so if I could just point out, from experience, I can tell you that when you start making changes in an ordinance, it's a cause and effect. You think, I'm just gonna change this piece, but then has an effect on something 3 chapters over, and it just becomes,
Yeah.
and if you keep,
That's how we got in this.
if you keep going, what happens? You end up with like a Swiss cheese. I mean, there's more holes in this thing.
Right.
And
Yep.
the farther you go, the worse it gets. It's compound, and so it's almost one of those things where you have to break it down into sections and make sure that when you make a change here, it aligns with, it's a lot of work, really.
Which-
But when you start piecemealing.
I mean,
an
honestly, we
ordinance,
should probably just
start over.
start at the beginning. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
And if you can find.
Figure
a
out what
town-
we want
if
our
you can-
ordinances
if you
to
can find a
achieve,
town
and
or
then-
2 around you that has just done them, that you spend good money on it, usually if you start with that and just take the parts you like and.
Yeah, so if Ann was
Taylor
sitting
that.
here, she's gonna say, none of them are good, they all stole the same bad copy and started in the same spot. She's flat out has said that.
Yeah, well, typically, if you get into like Gorham, Wyndham, some of the towns like Gray, Gorham, Wyndham, that they spent good money on theirs and they had the work done. Usually, you can just kind of take
Yeah.
from
and I
those.
think there's a couple things that, you know, that we've talked about in terms of how we kind of the levels in terms of, okay, if you're proposing a, you know, home office, like you don't have to do the same as someone who's proposing some kind of big commercial structure,
Right,
some
right.
of that, you know, some
Right.
of the process on our end, but then also related to what a comp plan would tell us in terms of how do we structure our ordinance so that we have housing growth where we want it, we have business development where we want it, and all of that.
I think the most helpful thing and the most directive thing that will come out of the comprehensive plan is the future land use plan. It's that portion. The comp plan isn't going to say, we want an ordinance that allows unlimited back lots as long as it's family owned. I mean, it's not going to be anything nearly that specific. It's going to be more along the lines of ordinances. We value affordable housing and we want to protect our open spaces, and the planning board should design housing ordinances that will accomplish those objectives.
And then that's when we need the consultant.
Yes, and then the planning board works with the consultant.
Exactly.
In the town.
Make sure the ordinance actually does that.
Yeah.
So it might be that, early on there's some low hanging fruit, like, cleaning up consistencies and maybe better structure and organization. But some of the bigger ones, like, subdivisions and backlots and things like that might take you a little bit longer. But I guess I would say, you don't have to do it all at once, and you don't have to wait until you've done it all to bring anything else.
It's
So if we're gonna submit a budget request for some professional services
Yep.
for the next town meeting, when would that have to be?
You would want to, in fact, Janet, I saw Janet Smith today, that's why I was saying Janet,
Ruth?
at the MMA convention. But Ruth will be asking pretty shortly for the department heads and committee chairs, starting to pull together budget requests for next year. She'll probably start doing that either in October or November, but pretty soon.
So do we want to try and work any ordinances for the coming up
I think we should.
town meeting?
Anne's not here, but she was kind of keeping the copy of what we had changed, so I'm not entirely sure at what part she is with that.
I have it. I'm gonna say I have what I sent to her, but she
Yeah.
was gonna do the heavy lifting
we
cleanup.
got fairly close in terms of,
Yeah, made a lot of changes.
we're all gonna forget what we did to it.
Absolutely.
I know, that's-
100%.
No one's gonna remember what we were
We're gonna have to
changing.
go over it, but.
No, I think, well, because we're also gonna start talking about potentially how we tailor the ordinance for the marijuana laws and such
Oh,
too.
yeah.
So I think we definitely should plan to do some ordinance workshops over the winter and figure out what we can accomplish again.
Okay.
Now, MMA is a great resource for sample ordinances, especially on the marijuana front. They oftentimes have, if they don't have an ordinance themselves, they'll oftentimes point you to a community that they think has a good one, so.
I've gotten a couple via email that
Mhm.
I said I would email to everybody. I haven't done it yet, but I will do that.
So,
What's MMA?
Maine Municipal Association. In fact, I'm going, so their annual convention was today and tomorrow, so I was there all day today. And today I went to a workshop on roads, and then some on budgeting and taxes. And tomorrow, I'm going to one on the state subdivision law, and another one on how the Maine Supreme Court is very frustrated with municipal land use ordinances.
Wow, get some slides for us.
Yeah, and
Seriously, PowerPoint slides.
and then and marijuana, 2 sessions on marijuana tomorrow. So a lot of stuff tomorrow.
Yeah, Ruth had sent us all the information. It just wasn't a good time for me to go.
Yeah.
It's more work.
Yeah.
No way. But yeah, that would be good if you bring any information back.
Yeah, if they, it's certainly I'll be able to bring back, contacts and references. There haven't
Yeah.
been a lot of actual materials
Okay.
handed out.
PowerPoints?
Well, they've had PowerPoints, but they don't have printouts of them.
Okay.
At least they didn't in the workshops I was in today.
Okay, sometimes at the end of the
But-
workshops, they'll give you a link.
Yeah, so
to
I have
all
a
of
couple
the-
of contacts where to get
Nice, good.
slides like that. So, but that's all I had. I just wanted to reach out and let you know, thank you for your work on the planning board on behalf of the selectmen, because we know it's been a very frustrating year plus. But we really think that with the work the comp committee is doing and with the new CEO, that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And before I go, if you didn't already know this, and if she hadn't already called it out, I wanted to give kudos to Tammy.
Yes.
Because she has put all of our ordinances in searchable PDF format on the websites.
Ooh.
So you can now, type
That's
in
amazing.
junkyard in the land use ordinance, and there's the 6 references to it. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Tammy.
Thank
for
you.
that. Makes it
That's-
a lot easier to find stuff.
Actually, I had a quick question. So, how does the comp plan? When you were talking about an ordinance to-do list, and with Jill leaving, I was thinking like, we don't have a place where the planning board keeps documents like that we use.
I would.
What is the comp? What is the select board? What is the comp plan committee like? Is there a town resource that we can use, or do people just using Dropbox? Or
Well,
what?
we have a town, we had Ruth set up a Dropbox for the comprehensive plan committee.
Okay.
And we are, we laid out a process at our last meeting where we're going to be editing, we're all editing the same file, and we can all see each other's comments of a Word document in the Dropbox.
I'm just thinking as it's like, Jill's, I'm like, well, do I have all the documents that Jill had access to, or, and if Anne's we used to have a lot of copies of things floating around that we're
Checklist,
emailing.
we have checklist
Yeah.
and.
It's like, I have them on
funds
my
and-
computer and other people have them on their computer, but there's no central place, and I didn't know if there
And
was.
I
a way
really
to-
think having some sort of cloud storage for the town, whether it's Dropbox or something else, is definitely something that's been on my radar as well. We're waiting for our new public information technician to come on board and get up to speed, and we actually have a new server being installed tomorrow. Or
The 18th, actually.
Okay, but very soon, so we're doing some upgrading of the network here in the village. So I would envision at some point being able to, there'd be a selectman folder and a planning board folder, and comp committee and whatever else, and it would be basically cloud-based and accessible by the members of the committee. I think in the meantime, you could certainly talk to Ruth and have her set up a Dropbox account for your members.
And as secretary, I can help you get going with that, Mindy, especially with all this transition with Jill and all the stuff that was in her secretary email. And
Yeah, I mean, I think I have
Maybe a good
a lot
time
of
to
it,
set
but I was just thinking that, all of us keeping different versions on our computers and stuff.
Dropboxes, we can move those too if we need to, like if we get a cloud solution, like Kevin had said.
So the one thing you want to keep in mind is it's all public record. Anybody can come in and ask for any of that stuff at any time. And I think hopefully you're all using like a durhammaine.com email address and not personal address. That just protects yourself, because if you're using your own
You sign
email.
the thing, right, to say you didn't want it. Didn't people have to?
She has one. I don't think
I
she
have
uses
one.
it.
How do you get one? I don't know.
You can contact.
Oh, Ruth, I think you have one.
You do
Maybe
have
just don't
one.
know.
You're just not using
No one
it
just told
either.
you about it? That's nice.
Yeah, so
Kind of like how we started on this board.
You showed up thinking it was comp plan meeting.
Gave me the wrong ordinance.
All of a sudden you're on the planning board.
Thinking he was an alternate and he actually had a seat, right?
Right.
Welcome. We don't know what we're doing.
So,
Please send it to me.
Along with that, Kevin, are we looking into wireless
wireless what?
wireless internet, Wi-Fi?
There's Wi-Fi in this building now,
But,
not guest Wi-Fi.
Or-
To answer your question, yes.
okay, good.
Yeah,
At
we
least,
want-
like for board members during meetings?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
And you can,
I know you can see it right now, but as far as I know, we can't get past the firewall.
you can if you have the town password. The
Oh, okay.
office password.
Okay.
But we don't really want like 30, 40 people to have that. It's really, should be just for the office staff.
Okay.
That is an issue, and yes, we do plan on fixing the guest Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Because it is some very helpful at times to be able to pull stuff up on the computer. So.
Absolutely, yeah. Yep.
Well, that's the other thing, when you do ordinance changes, if you don't have it in the PDF, if you can word search, when you change this word here, you can see everywhere else where
Where
it
else
affects
is
the
it?
ordinance, and then
Yeah.
you can go and
Yeah.
it pops right up. So
Yeah.
last time I did one, I had that option, and then we also did we amended the comp plan at the same time, because you cannot, per state statute, have any ordinance that conflicts with your comprehensive plan.
Right, that's right.
So, every town has boo-boos in their ordinances here. No town's perfect, but if you wanted to go find a problem, you could find something that's not legal in every ordinance in the state, no matter who wrote it. But
That's always the piece I struggle with the most, is I don't know enough about the court cases that have challenged ordinances, which is a book on its own. That's the piece I struggle with. Is
Well, any ordinance and the comp plan, anything like that goes through the town lawyer before we bring it to the town for a vote, just to make sure that, it's kind of like the final check for any inconsistencies or problems or.
but with that searchable,
I wonder if we brought it to him right now.
we did it last time. We did it in Word when we track changes.
yeah. Well,
She's
some of them are
presented.
still highlighted in here. This book shouldn't even be in here, and so I'm just saying that it won't be in the next book.
I know, I was reading through something a few weeks ago, and the section headings were going like 1, 2, and then all of a sudden I was in 7.
It's not pretty. So.
Okay, any other questions?
Thank you.
Great, thank you guys.
Anything else from?
No, I just wanted to see.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's that and that. All right, we'll get that. Let's see if we can get her in here to sign that for you. Yeah?
So our next meeting will be Wednesday, November 1st. Applications, 9 separate packets of supporting documentation due at the town office no later than October 23rd at close of business.
The only thing I know of is a proposed car lot. I want to sell 3 or 4 cars on a lot down road. I thought he'd be here, but perhaps, I thought he would make submission. By the 24th, he didn't make it, so I'm gonna guess it'll be for the next one.
Okay.
Anybody have anything else?
Motion adjourned.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second that.
All those in favor?